Yeah, I'm here. We are here. Hooray! And we're streaming. So swear as much as you like, Andy.
Right.
Yeah, your mic is good now. So restarting fixed the trick.
I can't hear you, Rans. Can you hear me now?
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
You can hear me, but I can hear nothing.
We can see my taskbar. Yeah, that's interesting. Why is that?
No, hang on a minute.
There we go, fixed. Hey, Daren.
I can hear you now. I can hear you. Are you getting this microphone?
Yes, I sure am.
All right, okay. Yeah, that Steinberg interface is definitely dead, or because I've used it with different USB cables and it doesn't seem to work. This computer just simply doesn't like it. So,
yeah, I've got a Roland Rubik's one that does that. It works on some computers and doesn't work on others, and yeah, they do die eventually. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah,
okay,
since
good.
Well, this is now my Mackie, the USB interface in the Mackie. So, well, maybe that's all I'll need. Who knows?
Okay. So today's show we're going to be doing DAW to modular, right? Now, I have had so much technical issues today, I felt like throwing something through the window. Yeah, so we can still do the show, but it's not going to be how I expected it to be. I can't hear you, Daren. You're not muted, though, from my end. So,
can you hear me now?
Yes, you just have to press that button. See that button there that you just pressed?
Yeah. The one that says mute.
It's so technical. Yeah.
It doesn't, Daren. It says mutt.
It says mutt.
Well, yeah.
I like it. That's a good one, Andy. Yeah, so what ended up happening is...
Mirror all week.
I've got the Presonus Studio 192 interface here, and it's just not playing ball. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not broken or anything like that, but if I want to route audio out, or route if you want to call it that, audio out and then back in again via some sort of effects pedal or something like that, I get feedback loops, and I can't work out for the life of me where the feedback loops are occurring. And there's a console thing where you can disable the mixer console and it stops the feedback loop, but when I do that, I can't use it on the show because I need the mixer console so I can turn channels on and off and things like that. And I can't do a loop back within this computer because it's just too taxing. So I have to do something separately. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to use the Expert Sleepers ES8, which is actually an audio interface, a USB class compliant audio interface. And I've got that with a massive big long USB cable over to the Mac, which is just to the left of my head. You can see the screen there. And we'll use that for today because it still does the same job. It's just that I can't quite do exactly what I wanted to do because I wanted to do it with ADAT and things like that. It's not all lost because tomorrow or the day after I should be getting a delivery of my RME Digiface. So I won't have to use the Presonus anymore. What I was doing while I was talking about that was getting chatties up. There, chatties are up. Okay. So yeah, if any of you guys in chat has a Studio 192, ping me, message me, because I'd love to pick your brains. Or even,
I was going to say, bin it.
even a Presonus Quantum or even a Presonus, probably not the 1824 because I think they have a loopback in them, so they have a virtual loopback built into them, and the loopback's not the issue anyway. It's feedback for some, like it's kind of like it has like these DAW settings on the mixer, like internal DAW settings, and I can't find anything in the documentation. The bloody user manual is absolutely rubbish. Their forums are full of people posting stuff, and nobody from Presonus has replied to any of the posts. I have used their tech support before, and I work in the IT industry, and they absolutely have no idea what they're asking us to do. Have you tried unplugging it? Have you tried plugging it back in? Have you tried a different port? Have you tried a different USB cable? Have you tried sitting on the roof singing "Koo La La"? Like, it's just frustrating how these people get jobs work in these industries. So yeah, it's really it's beyond frustration now. So Studio 192 is going to go bye-bye. It costs a lot of money too, that interface. Things should not be that complex. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to Total Mix. I showed a graphic of it. I think we were talking about it last week or the week before. I forget now which one. I showed a graphic of it. It's actually really cool. Looking forward to mucking around with that. Yeah.
What is that?
Try turning it off and on. Everyone's asking me if I tried turning it off and on.
Yeah.
I've tried throwing it at the screen. If I could jump on a fast jet to Presonus headquarters and strangle someone over there, I could try that. That probably might actually make me feel better. Yeah, it just, something shouldn't be so difficult. Like, it says you can route things in and out. So why can't I route things in and out without feedback loop? Like, when you've got a mic too close to a speaker, that's the sort of feedback sound I'm getting inside the interface. There's something either physically wrong with it, or Eddie wants me to talk to his sister. I don't know about that. Is that one of those weird? Is that one of those weird things, Eddie? I'm not sure if I want to do that. Yeah, getting an RME.
Brokey says get RME.
Getting an RME within a few days.
Is that the way to go? Is it?
We'll see. We'll see. Well, hopefully. Now, there's two Presonus things now that I can't use. Well, I can use them, but I just can't use them for what I want to use them for. So the Firewire mixer, I can't use that anymore because everyone's dumping Firewire. Firewire's gone to... Oh, I did actually find out something during the week. This is a little bit geeky and a bit nerdy computer-wise, but you can buy, and you have been able to for a little while now, these little PCIe enclosures. They're just little standalone enclosures where you can actually put PCIe cards in them. And you're probably thinking, so what's a PCIe card? They're things like in your PC where you can do things like Firewire cards or graphics cards. They're the little slots that plug inside your motherboard, and you can get an external one, and they work over Thunderbolt. And the cool thing about that is you could put like a Firewire card in it, and then it would talk Thunderbolt to your Mac. And apparently it works. But the thing itself is like $500, so I don't know. It's not worth it. No. I'm not going to buy that just to have Thunderbolt when it's yeah. Anyway, aside from that frustration, how are you guys going? I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of a tour of what we're going to do today. Where's my little postie there?
We started streaming, by the way.
We have, yeah, we're streaming.
I'll start swearing. Oh, hello everybody.
Can you guys see that's the ES8 there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the two cables plugged into the output there. And you can see, if you look really closely, you can see there's a little blue glow. See how it glows blue there? So that is telling me that there's sound coming out of that. And the sound that's coming out of that is coming from a frozen screen. But you'll have to just trust me, it's coming from that Mac. Don't know why it's
from
frozen.
A D50.
It's coming from the
virtual D50.
I'll have to unfreeze that. I don't know why it's frozen on me. See what's going on there. See if we can fix that. D50. Looks like it's dropped its signal. That might be why I can't get up. All right, it doesn't really matter anyway. I mean, that's about all you need to see. Oh, I suppose you guys will probably want to know how I connected it internally in the DAW. Yeah, we'll probably have to get to that eventually. Anyway, so that's how we get from the DAW to that, and it's all done through that wonderful USB cable that you can see just to the left of those two audio cables. And it's just acting like an audio interface. Just think of it like a mixer with inputs and outputs. The inputs are the 4 below the USB, and the outputs are the 8. And there's that little ES5 expansion module just next to it as well, which can give you more. The other cool thing about this is all of these inputs and outputs are DC coupled. So you can actually send CV as well as audio to these. So you can actually have LFOs and stuff like that coming out of your DAW controlling stuff. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Now that will probably do what we kind of are trying to sort of prove today. But I think we might have to revisit it with the RME when I get that, because overly I kind of want more. I want to have more outboard gear and more in and out and that sort of stuff. I want to be able to sort of show all the sort of possible routings that are possible and what you can do. So we'll see anyway. We'll see how we go with that. Hopefully that doesn't bore you guys. We've got a couple of news things, and I'm going to do an interactive news today as well. So that should be interesting. Whilst let me see if I can just fix this Mac up. Andy, do you want to just hold the fort for a sec? I'm going to put your face on the screen. I'm just going to go see if I can fix the Mac.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, 1 sec.
Right. Right. So I've got to talk at people, tell people stories. Right. Well, I've got absolutely nothing to talk about. I've been doing nothing I've been working. Very boring. Daren, have you got anything to say? Have you got anything exciting that you can involve us with? Can anybody enlighten? Sorry, go on.
No, it's all right. Carry on. I was just trying to get something to work.
Right. This is riveting viewing, isn't it?
There we go. I'm back. Now let's see if I can
Darren's
get it
better
to work.
looking than me.
Darren likes to look at you.
That's nice. I like to look at Daren too.
Oh, look, it's working now.
What?
There you go. So you should be able to see the little MIDI loop thing there, and you should be able to see the audio coming out. Yep, cool. That's working. Good. All right. So we're set for the show. Okay. Right. How far? Where does it say? How far can you push the sample rate on the ES8? I haven't tried anything kind of wacky like that. I haven't actually got to that point. Yeah. So I don't know. At the moment, it's set to 48K. And I'm kind of quite comfortable working at 48K. I know a lot of people like to go to 96 or even higher. I'm just kind of comfortable at 48, because what I find is it's quite a sweet spot. It's a sweet spot for a lot of reasons. It's a sweet spot because you still get all the
I've just sent
benefits.
you an email, Ranz.
Ooh. Shall I stop what I'm saying and go and check my email, or shall I continue? Is it really important?
You can do a bit of both if you. Yeah.
Is it the same sort of? Oh no, I've got your email. Yeah, here we go. Oh, okay, cool. Yep. All right, I know what that's for. Okay, we shall squeeze that in, Daren. Yeah. So what was I saying? So the 48K seems to be a fairly sort of safe thing in terms of benefits. Like most interfaces won't. At the sample rate, if you go above 48K, some of them, like for example, at 48K, you get 8 inputs through digital ADAT and stuff like that. But at 96, you might get 4 because it's using the sample rate, header inside the processor. I find that you don't get as many clicks and pops. I find that you don't get many sample issues. You don't have to muck around block size. There's a whole bunch of sort of benefits as a result of doing that. So for me, that's not pushing, the sound system to its limits. But for me, it's kind of a very, very safe sort of place to be. And I think most samples sound pretty good at 48. So it's only if you're doing something really, like, let's be honest, I'm not a #1 recording artist that goes to a multi-million-dollar studio and tracks down and releases albums that are top chart sellers. So it's for me, I'm not going to be worried too much about some of the stuff. I actually like the lo-fi sound of some stuff as well anyways, because that's kind of, I like to glitch things up, noise things, bit crush and that. So who cares if, you're going to care. If you've bit crushed something, you're going to care if it's 96K. Seriously. Like, people are getting silly with that stuff. So, yeah, that's where we're at with that.
It's 96K bit crush tune, you say?
Yeah, it's a 96. Isn't that beautiful?
So I can hear all those bit crushing in detail.
All right, we should start the show, gents. Here we go. Woo. Well, hello. Welcome to another Saturday. As I always say, nice to have you here. If you're wondering what the hell this is a kind of nerdy, geeky synth and drum machine type music tech show. Really lovely to have you here. If you're a noob, please jump into chat and say hi. Hello to all the regulars too. We're going to go and say good day to them in a sec. But I also like to say hello to two other regulars, starting with Daren, who he's not quite ready. There he is. Hello, Daren. How's your week been?
Hello. Yeah, it's been not too bad week. It's been up and down, but I think it's been pleasant in weather-wise. But other than that, yeah, it's been fine. Been okay. Been good.
Anything else they'd like to add?
Have a moment here. Yes, it's available at last. You see that? Yeah.
That's really cool, mate. I'm really proud of that. Yeah, awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
Now, it's now available on Bandcamp. And there's 4 tracks, but on Bandcamp there's a 5th track, a bonus track. But if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the live, which is the bonus 5th track, which comes down there. Yeah, so 4 tracks, and then the actual. I get a bit over the top these details and things, don't I? Really.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because you care. It's a good idea.
Yes, so that is now available, so you can all go and get that because it doesn't cost you anything; it's for free. So you might as well download it while it's not costing anything. So
I think we'll chuck you some pennies for that, Daren.
Well, I don't need to. Just get the album. There's 5 tracks on it.
Yeah.
I've
got to look at your
There's your Bandcamp page. Yep, you updated it. Look at that.
Updated it. I only did it a day ago.
What we'll do is we'll definitely come back to it and we'll play some of that with your permission, of course. Definitely. But that's a little teaser for them that they can have a little listen on the show. And I've also got a video queued up as well. While we're at it, we should also say hello to Andy. How are you, mate? How's your week?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, all right. My week's been just an ordinary working week. I've absolutely nothing special to report. Not done anything. As you can see, everything's still lined up in the hallway. I've not got anything set up. I just can't face it when I get home from work. I'm just too knackered. So I'm on holiday for 2 weeks now. So at some point during next week, it'll all get set up. But I'm going down to see my brother beginning of next week. And he doesn't live a million miles away from Mr. Kent Spong. So I'm going to get in touch with Kent and arrange to drop off my Pro 1 with him for him to work his magic on as and when he can. He doesn't know I'm coming yet. I've not let him know. If he's in the chat, Kent, I'm coming to see you sometime next week. Hope you're in. So, yeah.
I haven't seen him yet.
So I'm going to do that.
I did see him.
He was on Pro Synth Network last night. But...
Yeah, he was definitely on there last night. And I also saw him briefly watching another person's stream earlier today. Right. Okay. Fantastic.
Would that be Mr. Zaffins?
That would be.
My
that would be.
as well.
Yeah, right. I was out busy doing boring stuff. So.
Okay. So first of all, we're going to say hello to chatties, which is this button here. And the person who gets the yellow Guernsey this week for being first in chat is Human Error. Congratulations. You can wear that with pride. Don't ask me where you get the yellow Guernsey from. That's your problem. Big hello to Martin Taylor, Sonic Link, Native VS, Eduardo, Eddie's good to see you, QRDNK. Also, we've got Sasquatch, Wagoo, nice to see you guys. Azio Head, Sergio, good to see you. Broccoli. My eyesight's getting terrible. Actually, the monitors are far away now, so I've got to really, really do something about this prescription. What was I talking? 8OZ. Big hello to Lisa, who's there. Future World Machines, and we scroll. Yeah, lots of other people have jumped in, and I'm just going to go to the end. I think I saw a few people jump in at the end. It's taken me a while. Yes, I saw Marshall Arnold. Haven't seen Marshall for a while. Good to have you again in the chat. As you guys may know, Marshall's been on the show a few times. Dumb Jez is there. IP's there. Good to see. And yeah, let's scroll right to the end because otherwise I'm going to forget. Mac's there. David's there. Kent is there. There you go. He says, honestly, I just joined as my name was mentioned. Yeah, because your ears were burning, mate. That's what it was. We've also got Nuri, and we've got Robbie. Everyone's coming in right at the last thing because I know I'm going to mention their name. Here we go. Watch them all flood in. Yeah, it's good to have you all anyway. Frequently every week. That is what we really love and enjoy. I will admit the Discord is going gangbusters during the week, which is a good thing. So where's that little link? That's Discord there. So if you haven't got the Discord link, that's it there. And it's free and it's good fun. And we've been talking about all sorts of stuff during the week, including my frustrations with Presonus. There's a meme that I'm going to show today as well that came from there. And if Martin Taylor's, yeah, he's in there, cool. He was the one that provided it, so we'll talk about that. And that's what happens if you're in Discord. You get to carry on the conversation every week during the week, if it's not enough to watch 2 hours of me already. But no, it's all good. Beautiful. Okay. I think just for the newbies, I think we also probably should show the Twitter address. I don't really use Twitter a lot, but we'll do that. Actually, I need to fix that. Just give me 1 sec. It's got some stupid stuff on there that shouldn't be there. And I forget to get them. There we go. There is the Twitter address. It's very, very hard to remember that one. So there's that. What else? We have Patreon. I'll show you. Actually, I'll talk about Patreon a little bit later. Got some plans happening with that. And yeah, I actually just recently signed up with a Vimeo account where you can upload videos and you can then secure them and all that sort of stuff. And obviously that costs money. It actually costs money to run this show, believe it or not. So yeah, so that's what we'll talk about that a bit later about some of the costs. And you guys might know that I don't put ads on my live streams. So there's no YouTube income coming in on my live streams, and I'm pretty much just doing live streams at the moment anyway. So yeah, right. We are going to get stuck into the rest of the show. So we do, if you are new and you're watching for the first time, like I said, big hello. We do a couple of regular segments. I don't really know why we do them, but we'll start with this one. It's called Funny Side. Yes, we are at the end of the internet, and stranger things can happen. In fact, it may actually happen that you might laugh. But I doubt it very much because I don't think anyone has yet, and we've been doing this for 3 years. But anyway, we will start with this one. We'll do this one. We'll do this one. Okay, want to see me do the most difficult thing on a synthesizer? Sure. Was that make money?
Boom, boom.
Doesn't everyone love that one? Hey? This is why nobody laughs at these, because they hit us where it hurts. Learn FM synthesis. One video.
Yeah, that's the one.
Right.
I got a chuckle.
It did. And this is
Sorry, Robbie.
I really want that mountain bike. I showed you. It's 1,600 though. You should totally get it. And I really want that Hydra Synth Deluxe, but it's like 1,800. You should totally get it. I love you. I love you too. Oh, This is the perfect relationship to somebody who's in doing this meme. Oh God, that is just really weird. But this is what happens down the track. It's all about the punchline. Ah, dearie me. Dearie me. Has anyone had that dream? Oh dear.
Yeah, thanks, Marshall.
Thank you very much for the super chats that just came in. We have the first one that came through was from Sasquatch for the beer fun, a big £5 from Sasquatch. Beautiful, thank you very much. And also from Marshall, big 20 US smackaroonies. Thanks for the show, he says. So that's awesome. Just quickly show. Yeah, brilliant. Look at that big orange and red strip there. Beautiful. Fantastic. Yeah, that goes towards the all the costs that we incur here, which we'll go into a bit later. Right. What's next? Andy, what's the next thing after we do Funny Side?
The news.
You got it. That wasn't a trick question.
Glad I got it right then.
Yes, every week we have news. And sometimes we have weird news like this. This is a real photo. And
Oh yeah.
this should have been in memes, but I decided to put it in news because I just thought it was just so bizarre.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening, there's a guy from New Man Studio, his name's Audio Illustrator, that's his handle. He purchased I don't know if he purchased the blue Marvin or if he purchased the black 2600, but he got both from Behringer. And yeah, it's very interesting indeed. In fact, some have said that this probably might be a rare one that you should hang on to because it's neither a blue Marvin nor is it a black 2600. One thing you'll notice though, that it does have the digital reverb on it. So it's probably more a black 2600 than the blue Marvin.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's probably just a black one that's got the wrong sticker on it for some reason.
Yeah. What a shocker.
They must have run out of the ordinary ones. Oh, we got this. We'll put this one on. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? That sort of thing is the sort of thing that you really should hang on to because it will be unique. That.
I wonder how many.
It's a bit like
got that.
Thanks, Kent.
Well, it will be interesting to know how many there were.
Yeah. Thank you, Kent, for the £20. How many there were. Stolen synth. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Good work. Good work, Kent. Right. We are back to news. Sorry. So that's the first one. The second one, I did promise earlier, that I'm going to do an interactive news today. And that is this. As you guys know, I do have the Behringer brains. And in the past, I've probably done some sort of painful video that I upload onto YouTube. Instead, today, I'm going to show you, well, you're going to hear what the new brains firmware sounds like because I've just upgraded it. And basically, really all they've done is they've fixed the sample rate to 96K, as it says there. There are some minor fixes. I actually don't know what they are. I tried to find out. I'm waiting on an email back, but there you go. That's what happens in the big city. What should we do? We should go to Live Brains, which is here. There we go, Live Brains. There it is. Now, okay, so what is 96K? Well, we're just talking about sample rates before, guys. So 96K means that the algorithms that are in this, because this is basically a Platts, right? This is a mutable instruments Platts. The algorithms that are in this can run at a little bit sort of cleaner thing. Now, one of the things, I don't know if you guys got to check out my really long, in-depth brains overview video that I did a couple of weeks ago. I did mention in there that some of the algorithms in here were anti-aliasing and there was crackle and pops coming out of the waveforms. And that 96K is supposed to go to a long way to fix that. So one of the areas I found that it was in was the second algorithm. And what we'll do is we'll take the drums off. I just got a sequencer running so I don't have to keep. This is where I was getting the crackles up here. That sounds pretty good. Right, okay. Let's try this one. Okay, we can get this.
Is it not doing it now you want it to?
No, I'm just checking to see. I've only literally just done the upgrade. Now it's actually fixed it.
Oh, I see. You've actually, I know. So I thought you were about to do the upgrade to see if it would cure it, but right, there we are.
Yeah, now what I will do is I will show you guys a video of the issue I had with it. But while we're at it, why don't we put brains through a Juno chorus? Because we can.
Ooh.
Try again.
Yeah, give it more to chew on, that's right. That sounds good, like that.
Now, just so you guys know, there's literally no other effects coming. That's going straight into the audio interface. So the output on the top left-hand corner is the Behringer mixer. It's going straight into the audio interface. And you can obviously turn off your chorus. There you go. Lovely brains.
Sounded nice.
Yeah, it's cool. It's groovy.
Sounded nice. Very nice.
Groovy. So interactive news. I don't know if we'll do that again. But yeah, no, it's the good thing about it is it's definitely fixed the 96Ks, fixed the problem. So we will have a little bit more of a play with it. Now, what I want to do is I want to quickly, guys, as I promised, I'd show you the video where I had some dramas. If I can find it. Don't know if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it during the show. It's definitely in this folder, but there's so much crap in this folder. I can't seem to find it off the top of my head. Yeah, give me a sec. I'll find it during the show and we'll come back to it, and you can hear the aliasing and everything that we had with it. And yeah, I just didn't think that I'd need the video. Actually, it might be. I know where it is. I do know where it is. It's on my Patreon. Come on. Let's go to Patreon. Who is a member of my Patreon? Not many. It's the answer.
It's like someone we went past.
All four of them.
Yeah. Well, just me, myself, and I. All three of us. All right. Posts. Give me a sec. Published. Oh, it's getting warm in here. Am I going to be able to click on this or what? Sorry, it's coming up with stupid pop-ups. Okay, here we go. Right, we've just pressed this button. Sorry, guys. It's coming. Is it going to go full screen or what? Hello.
Oh, it's a...
We'll just have to do that. So you hear it just there, the crackle right at the end. I know it's a bit piercing, but that's the first crackle that you got. And I just did that.
Hearing test there when we
I just did that before, and it didn't do it. And then there's got this algorithm that does it as well. And that's just all full of crackles. So there you go. There's some of the benefits with Patreon. You get ear tests. No, the good thing about it is
ring in now.
The good thing about it is you guys see some of the things that I get to test, and any problems that I show, I'll show to my patrons. So yeah, so there you go. Behringer have fixed it, which is a good thing. We shall go back to the rest of the news, and we actually do have something cool lined up now. If you didn't think that was cool, this is cool.
Thank you, future.
All right, here we go.
God, did you get £5? That's a lot from Spotify, Future World Machine.
So I would like to introduce the Neoni, which is a 12 HP, all analog, through zero frequency modulation capable oscillator with a good few tricks up its sleeve, which make it quite a versatile sound maker and sound processor and modulation source, all the fun stuff. This video is going to be on the long side, so I'll keep this introduction short. Some people may have noticed that there was a minor leak of the product description and product shots of the Neoni.
All right, so what we got is we actually do have, let me go back to this view here. We do have a product photo there. It is the Neoni, which is a new analog oscillator with a unique set of features that takes you sort of into sort of new waveform territories, which is kind of more to do with wave folding, and it kind of borderlines on through zero FM with A and DC coupled operations because it's using linear FM. So it does have a bit of an FM sort of sound to it. I'll go to some of the sound effects in a sec. Just a couple of quick things about it. It is going to cost soon, when you get it, £399. So it's kind of up there, which is also $469 US. Where are we going to do it? Let's just kind of fast forward. Here we go.
Coincides with the positive direction half of the triangle.
Sorry, take that thing
and
off.
The down ramp is actually inverted and then offset to produce the sawtooth wave. So with the shape of the acquisition,
I'm getting some weird sort of delays on this video playback.
this gives us the original phase of the sawtooth, which starts at the positive jump of the square wave. If I turn it to the center, we actually result with a twice frequency to peak amplitude of the waveform doesn't occur until you're in that much higher range when everything's much more saturated. So coming back to the new guy, you'll see that the signal amplitude remains much more consistent across the majority of the range of the wavefold depth control. I've tried to keep everything on this oscillator's output much more consistent in output amplitude, so everything's at much more consistent 10 volts peak to peak or thereabouts. So even when you're folding the wave folder in comparison to the sine wave, everything stays a bit more consistent. Get to the
So that's actually really, really important, that part that he was just talking about there, about the 10 volts peak to peak on the wave folding, keeping it consistent with the oscillator running at the same time. Because what a lot of those sort of wave folding type things, they go off the chart and they become unusable, and you end up with a lot less CV control or a lot less MIDI control in some cases. Later on in the video, he actually goes into, you'll see on that video that he's got just to the left or to the right of the Mordax data, he's got a manual vertical CV control. He goes in and actually shows where it goes max to min on that, and that sort of stuff. Just it keeps everything musical, which is something that some people that make Eurorack modules don't always take into consideration, that not everything that comes out of those modules are musical. Some things are just kind of like, question marks. So that thing is quite musical in that sense. I mean, obviously, you guys have to be into that sort of wavefoldy FM sort of stuff. So yeah, quick reaction from Daren. I know he's into FM and he's into wavefolding.
I am.
Max watching, by the way.
Instruo modules, though. So, is it? Yeah, it's all right, I suppose. Not bad, They're expensive, but they are nice Instruo modules. I do like them because I got Div Kids, which was also made by Instruo. The that multiple LFO, whether that's Instruo as well. So yeah, I do like the modules.
You got one of those, Daren?
They're quite expensive though. The Div Kid LFO ones, yeah.
Yeah, the Oct. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, you'll love that, by the way, Andy. You definitely need to get that.
Well, it's on the shopping list. Actually, so I've got a shopping list of about 8 modules, which I'm not going to buy until I've saved up the actual money for it, and then I shall go out and get them.
Darren,
so
I can just
looking about March next year. So
I'm just making that module appear just in your studio at the top there. So kind of looks pretty cool, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Andy, what do you think of the design of these things? They're quite nice looking, aren't they? They've got the sort of gold and
they're gorgeous. I mean, they are just delightful things. I mean, I've watched a load of videos from Instruo looking at their things, and every single module is desirable in some way, shape, or form. The only down to them is the cost. They are expensive, but I suppose you're going to be getting good quality things. The Oct that Daren was just mentioning is about 150 quid, but it seems like a good £150 to spend, because you got all these, eight lanes of modulation at different rates just for sending things around the rack. Because I realised in my case that what I've got a lack of, if anything, is sort of interest in modulations. I've got basically just 2 LFOs and a few envelope generators. So something like that, just to send different rates of modulation around, is lovely. I think this thing sounds great. I know that video was getting a bit glitchy, but the thing itself just sounds lovely. I mean, wave folding always sounds, but wave folding always sounds like wave folding, doesn't it? It has that sort of sound, a bit like oscillator sync always sounds like oscillator sync and so on. But it's a nice sound to have in your system. I mean, I mentioned to you a while ago about a company called Hampshire Electronics. They got a wave folder, which was only £40. It's now sold out, unfortunately. I don't know if they're planning to remake it, but yeah, I'd love to get hold of something like that. But whether I'd be willing to pay £399 just for a nice looking oscillator, I have to question that. For me, Other people will rush out and spend it straight away because to have a rack full of Instruo things would be just delightful because they're great, aren't they?
Yeah, but you're not. Yeah, they are, but you're not buying gear to look good, are you? You're buying gear to sound good. Yes. Anyway, look, the few people
It does sound good and look good.
A few people in chat were saying they're not too keen on that sort of sound. I think I kind of think the point I'm trying to make, and I think the point that they're trying to make as well, is traditionally that sort of sound was always a bit naff, and you found that you would just kind of, it would sound like you just didn't know how to program your DX7 type thing. Go watch that video. It goes for a long time. This does definitely have some nicer sounds in it. You probably have to sort of think outside the square, though. It's not one of those traditional videos where people are going to play and it's going to be all dancey and stuff, and it's more just, these are the sounds, now you work out what you want to do with it. I like that, though, because it's more what I want to hear as opposed to marketing. Right. Next one is this one. Boom.
What's that newfangled thing?
That was Andy's.
What are those knobs for?
Oh.
Oh, we're going to glitch all day, aren't we?
You can adjust the amplitude of each frequency band. This is what it sounds like.
It's the silence.
Voice envelope onto an excitation signal, so it sounds like the excitation signal is speaking or singing. This means that the voice also follows the pitch of an excitation signal. Silence bridging lets you blend the filtered excitation signal into my output.
Ah.
You can change the firmware of your noise by adjusting pitch shift up or down. Spectral tilt lets you adjust all the channels with a single control. If you turn the slew knob back, it makes my voice sound slow. You can even freeze my current.
I love the slew. That is cool. All right. So that is the VoIS. Great name for a module. VoIS. It's a 15-channel vocoder, and it's actually got a fixed filter bank as well, which, if you actually think about it, you don't just have to use it for like voice. You can put instruments through it and things like that. It's actually quite cool. Let's go straight to the meat and potatoes. I think it's going to be around about 420 euros or 420 US. So it's another reasonably pricey module. Just remember, though, that a lot of these people that make these Eurorack modules, they're not a massive production company that can pump thousands of these things through, and therefore they'd get discounts on parts and things like that. They're probably handmade, and they're doing a lot of it for love. I love the name of it, VoIS. It's great, VoIS. So what's the name of the company again? It's Globsh Productions, GLUBSH. I'll put some links in the chat in a sec for those wondering. Globsh Production. Is that how you pronounce it, Andy? Globsh? Could be.
I've no idea. How's it written? GLUBSCH.
He wasn't listening, was he, guys?
I don't know. I was type it. Looking at Robbie's one.
I should put the Instruo link in there too, because that's not fair. I didn't do that as well. Now, I know there was only 2 Eurorack modules in the news today, but that's really all there is in terms of new hardware that we're kind of seeing. But don't forget too that we did get some firmware updates. We got a nice, interesting version of the 2600 from Behringer. Let's just talk a little bit about the VoIS. Anyway, 15 adjustable filters with 8 poles. I like that slew. So you can slur. I don't think I've ever seen that. It's probably on something. I just haven't seen it. Silence bridging to fill periods of silence where the filtered X. So that's kind of cool how it's got like a thing that will feel like silent sounds coming in, or just fill it with the internal synth noise. It's got a spectral shift. to up and down. It's got a spectral tilt. It's got a freeze, which is good, and a built-in noise and a few other bits and pieces. So there is a €50 off offer until the end of the year. So it'll probably go up in price is kind of what I'm hinting at there. Yeah. Who wants to talk about that? Andy, you can go first this time. You like vocoders?
Yeah, for what they do. I think you've got to find your moment and use it. I think it's very easy to descend into cliche with vocoders, though. So I mean, I've got vocoders everywhere. I mean, it's like I've got vocoder on the microkorg, got vocoder in the Supernova, I've got vocoder in the Zoom 1201 effects unit. You know, it's like vocoder, and I hardly ever use them really. Just every now and again, I'll just think, yeah, I will. I'll use the vocoder effect. Well, I mean, the thought of sticking one in a Euro rack, why not? All those different filter banks and things. I mean, I suppose it is a sort of a fixed filter bank with, you've got carriers and modulators put through it to create your sound. I thought it sounded lovely. It sounded like a traditional vocoder. £420, I suppose, is not a huge amount for something of that nature.
I think they missed a trick, Andy, and I'm going to put that over your face because I want you to look at it.
That's an improvement. Yep.
What I do like is all the different frequencies that you can adjust. But what I'd actually like to see is maybe some sort of way that we can make use of those individual frequencies. Yeah. So I think there's a little trick.
That's always what I thought about. Well, there's the fixed filter bank that Moog did and Behringer have cloned. And it's the same thing. It would be really lovely if each of those had their own CV control, but I suppose that would make it just more expensive or more ins and outs and things like that. So, well, yeah, I suppose you're right. A bit of CV control over stuff is always welcome.
We did a show.
Can I borrow one of them for this track? Edward.
We did a show about 2 or 3 years ago on vocoders. It was pretty funny.
I was going to say, Eduardo, it would be cheaper for you to go out and actually just buy a second-hand microkorg than for me to actually package it and send it. Really, to be honest.
The microkorg's actually not a bad vocoder at all. Daren, have you got anything brilliant to say about this? Are you a vocoder person?
I would just agree with Andy because vocoders are great, but like you say, you probably don't find yourself using them very often. And once you do, you have a binge on it, and then that's probably it. But yeah, I like the idea of all those frequencies out. But like you say, it'd be great if you could modulate them and have a CV on them. But like Andy said as well, it's going to cost a lot more, isn't it? I understand why the small companies like this are expensive because they don't make much of a profit anyway. But I don't know whether I'd put a vocoder in my Euro rack at that cost. I don't know. It's like I say, I understand why they're expensive.
Yeah, I mean, like the Roland System 500 modules are pretty pricey, and they're a big company that makes things in a lot. I mean, I know Meleco did those, but yeah. Anyway, I think swings and roundabouts. I think if that's something you really, really wanted, then you'd pay it. If it's something that you kind of just think, well, I've got so many HP spare, it could kind of fit. I don't know, I could spend money cheaper something else. It's probably not that sort of product. It's something more specific for you guys, that if you're into that sort of thing. Okay, we are now going to have a quick look at what the chatties are saying. While I burp, muted of course. I am a gentleman like that. I'm drinking my single fin beer again, so it's very burpy. Please join me for a frothy if you've got one, if you're that way inclined, or a water if you're that way inclined. Yes. Tell us in the chat, what do you guys think about this time of the year? Now, I think this time of the year we're kind of ramping up to the next lot of sale, which we kind of get around Thanksgiving America. We don't have Thanksgiving obviously in Australia, but the Thanksgiving period of time in the calendar is when the sales come up, and you have the Black Friday sale and you have the Cyber Monday. And I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to insert this segment in before we go into Price Watch. Yes, I have a rant, and it's my it's my show. I can rant if I want to. It's like my party. I can cry if I want to. I want to rant about software again. Yes, I know you guys love software. Some of you guys have shows all about software, but I kind of think there's some stuff going on that isn't quite right. And let's pick on this company. Let's have a look at this. This is a screenshot of when I log into Arturia and I click on the upgrade option for my V collection, and that's how much they are willing to give it to me. So you might think to yourself, that's not bad. That's a discount from $599 US down to $349 US. That's pretty good. Isn't that fantastic? Well, okay, what I want you to put in the back of your mind is that I am a long-time purchaser and upgrader of V Collection. I have lots of Arturia products. I'm a loyal customer. Why the hell are they giving anyone off the street V Collection for $299 US? Not an upgrade price. This is just straight off the bat. Yes, it's through one of those plug-in reseller companies. This company, by the way, is called Plug-in Boutique. But Arturia are obviously allowing it. So why are they giving it to the public who haven't got it already? They can just buy it straight out. If you've never had V Collection before, it's great. I mean, it might even be cheaper on Cyber Monday. But question for everyone in chat and in the video callers is, why is it more expensive for me? I mean, obviously I could go buy that. Why is it more expensive for me to upgrade than it is for someone just to start off brand new with it? How does that work? Can someone explain it to me?
It's like in everything, though. It's the same with everything. If you're a new customer, it's cheap. If you're an existing customer, it isn't. I think it's the same with everything, whether it's even your utility bills or anything.
Is that actually legal, though? Are they actually legally allowed to do that?
Whether it's legal or not, I don't know.
Well,
I'm sure you could be able to say, well, hang on a minute, if you're prepared to sell it to person A for this amount, why aren't you prepared to sell it to person B, i.e. me, for that? I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, that strikes me as morally wrong. I don't know if there's a law about it. It seems like there should be a law preventing that from happening because it's morally wrong. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah. Some manufacturers are taking the P155, says Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I think
I've got my arms crossed in indignation here.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's not... When I show you... If you guys wonder why I have my attitude about software, I work in the IT industry, so it's not just music industry that cops this crap. It's all over the shop. It's, we work also in the photography industry. There's software with that. It's everywhere. And the thing that really annoys me is for me to upgrade from Arturia to Arturia Synth V, whatever it's called, V8. It's not a massive. I'm not getting a massive benefit. I think I'm getting a new synth, virtual synth, which I could probably just buy individually. And as some people say in the chat, why don't I wait for Cyber Monday? Well, I probably will, but that's not the point. That is not the point. The point is, where is the loyalty? Where's the loyalty? That's the point. And we are all struggling musicians. Usually a lot of us are just hobbyists. We don't really make, like I said, I don't have a number one hit, or I don't have a number one album, or I'm not touring. I'm not that sort of musician. So I'm not really making a lot of money out of my music, so I can just splurge it on this sort of stuff. So I have to watch my pennies. And I kind of think I'm kind of disappointed. Now, I don't know who to point the finger at here, but obviously one company would have to allow another company to do that on their behalf. So it has to go to, this is not the only company that does this, by the way. I found other examples. I don't want to get into it because, the rant will just go on forever. But yeah, I don't know. If you guys in chat, have you guys ever found something similar where you kind of just, all of a sudden, you kind of just feel a bit deflated by it all? You feel like, you're enjoying it. You click to go to the upgrade path, and all of a sudden, you see this ad in your Facebook feed where you can get it cheaper without having to upgrade. It's just crazy.
No, not with music. My rant about that sort of thing is with water and utilities. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm paying £60 a month water rates, and I've tried to get Yorkshire Water to come and fit me a meter in which case it would be a lot cheaper. Or if they can't fit me a meter, I would then pay the we can't fit a meter rate, which is half the price, which is £30 a month, which I think, well, I'd rather have that £30 back for myself. Thank you very much. But trying to get somebody to come around and decide that they can't fit a meter is really, really difficult. The other issue, when I put it to them, was, hang on a minute, every single person on the street I live on, which is 3 blocks of flats, 8 flats in each block, not a single person on the street has got a water meter. So what does that tell you? It tells you that they can't fit water meters. So please just put me on that rate. No, they can't put me on that rate. They've got to send somebody out to decide whether they can put me on a meter or not. I said, well, you must have done that half a dozen times on this bloody street. Why waste everybody's time? Well, it goes on and on and on. So trying to get someone to come around here to decide that they can't fit a meter, I've got to wait till November now. It's bloody stupid.
Yeah.
Right, that's me. I've had a rant about that. So I feel. Thank you. I've unburdened.
It's released.
I've unburdened. just wait till the gas and electric prices go through the roof in the next month or two as well. That's going to get everybody really riled up.
We. I mean, when I was doing this studio setup here, I've told you guys this used to be a TV room, and one of the things that we had, if you see just above my head, that's like the 2 walls. It's like sort of alcoved in. That's where we actually had our big screen TV set up. And one of the things we had is we have this thing in Australia called Foxtel, which is like cable TV, pay TV basically, and it's absolute rubbish because it's full of ads. Like, why pay for something that's just full of ads? It's crazy. Anyway, so we had that because the kids like watching the kids channels and there's footy and sport and stuff like that. But I don't need it anymore, so I rang them up and I cancelled it. And literally, like, the guy on the phone, the moment that I said to him that I want to cancel it, he's offering me a discount straight away. Same, in fact, he's going to add channels. He's going to add this, he's going to add that, and it's going to be cheaper. So like, where was this phone call for the many, many years that I had this for? All of a sudden now that I'm ringing up to threaten to cancel, they want to give me a discount. And then I said to them, I said, oh, no, I can't use it because there's no more TV. Gone. So then after I've actually cancelled it, then I actually got another phone call. Actually, I think I got 3 phone calls. I didn't answer 2 of them, and one of them I just answered because it caught me off guard. And it's them again saying, oh, please stay with us. We're going to give you a massive discount. It's like, where were you? I said to the lady, I said, where were you for the 20 years that I had this going? Where were you ringing me up and saying, thank you, Mr. Adamson. You're such a loyal customer. We're going to give you a discount. It's the same thing. It's absolute BS. It is absolute BS. Yep. Let's see what the chatties have to say about that. Did I miss one of the super chats? I think I might have missed Future World Machines. If I did, I apologise. Thank you for the I think it was a £5 from Future World Machines. I think Andy, you might have picked it up though. So Ken's saying,
thank you, everyone.
You call every year and threaten. It's a standard operating procedure. Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea. I mean, you don't really sort of you don't really remember to do this stuff though, do you? That's the thing. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing what you're talking about, Andy. It's kind of the same thing. It's like they're never ever there when you're just happy. They're just happy taking that money out of your bank account every month or whatever it is. They don't.
So telling me. One of the problems with water is that I can't go to a different water provider. There is only the one here. I've just got to go to Yorkshire Water. And it's like, so they've got a monopoly, so they can do what the bloody hell they like, because we all need water, don't we?
Yeah. Ken's saying that the only place he sees discounts is the auto insurance business. I see them in banks. Like, I mean, if you go through a mortgage broker, I don't know if you guys in the UK have things called mortgage brokers. We have them.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah. And if they're good ones, they look after you. So my mortgage broker actually gives me a discount every couple of years. He renegotiates my interest rate through my mortgage, which is cool. Marshall said, it's like when you pay $15 at the movie theatre and they show you TV ads before the film. Yeah. Ads for Cheerios. Yeah, I know, you kind of get bombarded with advertising. There is a theory that you can go to the movies about 10 minutes late and you won't miss the start. So I don't know if you guys have got that same thing in your part of the world. You jump in the movies 10 minutes late, you should be fine. You'll miss half the ads.
They wouldn't do anything on. I'd miss first 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Okay. We should go straight into the next segment, which we've forgotten to do, which is this one. Yes, we have some brilliant stuff to get our fingers and feet and everything dirty this week. And Future World Machines was awesome this week. He found this baby for us. This is beautiful. Roland JP08 Boutique Series for €900. Are you absolutely shitting me? Sorry.
72 pounds shipping.
Look,
€72.
I'm gonna make enemies right now, and I don't care. That synth
worth 72
is
quid.
Roland's worst synth they have ever made. That is a piece of crap. That synth. It's got 10mm sliders on it. It's got friggin' 4 voices. Yet they call it a JP8. It's digital. They could have put more voices in it. They're an absolute idiot. They're absolute idiots. And then they bring this thing out and, you could buy another one and plug it together and it would have 8 voices. Now this guy's trying to cash in on the €900 for it. Good luck, mate. Yeah, absolute rubbish.
No.
Absolute rubbish.
You don't like it then, Ranz?
No, I don't like that synth. No. I never bought it, that one, either. I played with it in the shop and went, you're kidding me, aren't you? This one, 360 Systems Spectra Rare Oberheim SEM guitar synthesizer. This one's thanks to Synth Addict, who's Andy. Synthient Sound was Chris. Thanks for the 20 US, mate. Good on you. You are amazing, it says. Let's quickly just grab that because that looks cool. Turn that off. Let's just quickly grab that. Oh, it's disappeared. It's disappeared. It's just up the top there.
Scroll back down.
I can't.
Nice orange bit. Yeah, thanks. Okay.
David's asked for, thanks for the rant. Yeah, good on you, Dave.
He wants his money back now.
I'm glad. Yeah. I don't think they enjoyed the rant that much. Which one were we doing? So yeah, I've never ever seen this thing before. Has anyone seen this thing before? This is actually really interesting. I mean, I wouldn't have a clue.
360 Systems.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. Yeah, I don't... Guitar synthesizer. So I guess it's like a guitar pedal, right? A $3,000 guitar pedal.
Cool.
See, Wagoo, you're like me. You've got the System 8 and you've still got the JP08. I don't have the JP08. I've still got a couple of those boutiques. I've got the JX03 and the... I got rid of the Juno. I got rid of the Juno one. So I've got to get rid of the JX03 one. But I thought that, once I got the System 8...
Well, you can make some money on it looking at
it. Yeah. No one's seen this thing. I thought maybe Chris might have heard this being a guitar thing.
No, I know nothing about it.
All right.
Well, so, Chris, do you know anything about this? Chris, come on, tell us in the chat whether you've heard of that one.
Yeah. Where's the guitar connect? Exactly. Now this is for Kent because I know he loves the Yamaha CS80. Yamaha. This is the CS50. So not quite a CS80, absolutely nothing like a CS80. But these things are actually starting to go up in value now too. I noticed, I probably would have noticed the CS50, I probably could have grabbed one for about $1,000 US, not that many years ago, easily. And now look at that, nearly 10,000. That would have been a good investment, honestly. Someone who bought one of those about 5 or 6 years ago. Definitely. Now this doesn't mean it's a scam. I think this is just literally what people are able to get for these now. And if you got one better, you can go to CS60. 15,000. I don't know if a CS50 is
like in the music rack.
And a CS60. The CS60 is kind of getting close in the territory of a CS80. That's
isn't it? Just like one row of it, because it's isn't the CS80 voice just basically two separate synths, 2 rows, and then a load of control stuff. So is that just like one row of it?
Yeah. But I mean,
a bit to tell us more.
I know a guy who's got a CS60, and he said it's frustrating because it's like having it's like having something that you haven't got. You haven't got the CS80. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a frustrating synth. It does sound nice though.
I'm sure it does.
Oh yeah, Marshall, you should see. We've shown so many Jupiter 8s on the show. They're going stupid, the prices of the Jupiter 8s. Sorry, Andy, what are you saying?
I was just going to say it looks like it's got a synthesizer keyboard rather than the wooden weighted keyboard. So I'm also assuming that the 60 doesn't have polyphonic aftertouch. That the polyphonic aftertouch was really just on the CS80.
That's a really good question. I actually
Wagyu. Actually, Wagyu said in the chat, I think it's a different poly aftertouch system on the 60. So that means I suppose it does, but it's not the same. Right there.
I have seen a photo inside a CS60, and it doesn't have anywhere near the amount of wiring looms that a CS80 has. Have you seen that inside with all the wiring looms so beautifully? Like it's like almost like a performance, the way those wires just interweave, and they're just so neatly tied up. But the 60 isn't quite as So Kent's saying only the 80 has the poly aftertouch. So maybe it doesn't have aftertouch at all. I don't know. Someone can have a look on Vintage Synth Explorer and tell us. It's a good website, that. Shout out to Vintage Synth Explorer. It's a great. Who's checked out Vintage? I reckon all of us have Googled something and clicked on it, and it's been Vintage Synth Explorer that's told you what you needed to know. What a great website. Right. Okay. Fantastic. Right. We are now at the wonderful part of the show. We've had rants. We've had Price Watch. We are going to check out DAW connections. Boom, boom, boom. I can't even do sound effects. Yeah, this is kind of like pieced together with a wing and a prayer, some cans and a bit of string. We've managed to make it happen for you. I was going to do it through my ADAT and Presonus setup, but bear in mind, I do have an RME diggy face on its way. So, just bear with it. We'll see. We might need to revisit it. But anyway, let's have a quick look at what I'm doing here. So you've got the ES8 Expert Sleepers. It's literally just a class compliant audio interface. Don't be fooled by its format. It looks weird and everything, but really it's no different to a 19-inch rack mount with 1/4 inch connectors on it. In this case, it's a Eurorack format with 3.5mm connectors on it. So really, it's a small form factor version. What we're going to do is we're going to go into this, which is the Ableton. By the way, this is Ableton 11. If you haven't ever seen Ableton 11 before, doesn't it look so different to Ableton 10?
It's just as inspiring an interface, isn't it?
They also got my loyalty money, those people.
50 shades of grey.
Yeah, 50 shades of my hair after I had to pay for it. Yes, anyway, so you can see there's the Roland Cloud D50 playing in the background. And yes, we actually have it playing. Tell me if you can hear that.
Yep, hear it.
Good. So what I've got is the output, which I showed you guys before, coming out of there and into the Typhoon. The Typhoon is basically a clone of the Mutable Instruments Clouds, but I've also got it going through the scooper as well. So what we're doing is we're going out. You can actually follow the cables out of the ES8 into the scooper, out of the scooper into the Typhoon, which is clouds, and then straight into your ears basically from there. There's nothing else from that point. Right, so what's the point of this? The point of this is what you're seeing here is a DAW making sound and Eurorack mangling it. So we can do the mangle. The scooper mangling it here. And you can freeze it on the clouds. And all the stuff on the clouds can be automated with the LFO just below. The little Batumi just there, next to the ES8. So what's the point of this? Why do we want to do this, guys? Let's just pause that for a sec. Why would we want to do that? Why would we want to come out of our DAW and into hardware land and muck around in hardware land? What's the point? Anyone got an idea? Daren, do you do this?
Oh, do I do this? Do I use my modular is the question. I have done it, yes. But since I've changed the studio around, no, I don't. But yes, I do it. But I work differently probably than, I don't know, I probably work the same as you, I think, in a way around, because I use my DAW as the main brains and I collect all the stuff in the studio as sounds into that DAW. But I will use the modular, or I did use the modular as like a big effects machine or mangling distortion machine, and then feed it back into the DAW and record it as that and then work. You know, I never actually created a tune outside of it. I used to pan it back into the DAW and then create the sound, the tune from whatever sounds I was getting. So yeah, I have done that, as you was demonstrating there, yes.
Yeah.
And it's good because it's like, it's completely, how do you put out, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just being not trapped in the DAW. It gives you that sort of like randomness as well on the modular. I know you can do this sort of stuff in the DAW, but I just like to create sounds outside and bring them in.
To me, I think that's the exact point here. It's, yes, you can probably do something similar in a DAW. I mean, the clouds, mutable instruments clouds, and I think you can get VSTs now that actually have the same algorithm on. So it's probably not the greatest example, but there are analog gear that we've got in Eurorack, and there's a whole bunch of other sort of hands-on stuff that we can muck around with. It's the hands-on. It's the gear at your fingertips. It's getting away from the mouse and the clicky and the screen, you know, that sort of stuff, and getting back to fiddling with sound and making yourself sort of be creative. What do you think there, Andy?
I think it's quite fascinating how you do it. I've not got to that stage yet at all with trying to take things out of a DAW and control modular. I'm still learning how to control the bloody modular itself, let alone trying to get something else to do it. So, but yeah, certainly the ins and outs. I suppose this is a thing which is a few steps down the line. So I'm just sitting here watching and going, "Oh, can you do that? Oh, that was interesting. I didn't know that was possible," and that sort of thing.
So really, what it is confidence. I think a lot of us sometimes we get in our little comfort zones with music, and we haven't really sort of pushed ourselves to try different things. And it's really just more about having confidence and just trying some stuff out. And I guess kind of one of the things I like to do is, like, once you've got a facility to get audio out of your DAW, like an interface, it doesn't have to be one of these fancy expert sleepers modules. It can just be a standard USB audio interface. Doesn't have, as long as it's got an out and an in, you've got some way of getting something out and back in again. Then you're in. Once you're in your Eurorack, you can then sort of mangle it, move it around, and do some kind of cool things. Now, I just did the clouds because it's quite well known. A lot of people know the sound of it. They like the sound of it. It's probably not the best example, but kind of one of the things I kind of like about it, Andy, is that you've got these sort of hands-on controls that you can actually play. And it's not the only thing that you can play too. You might have noticed when I was mucking around with the scooper. The scooper is a bit of another digital glitchy thing as well. It's all digital land in this corner of my Eurorack case here. All this stuff's digital. But that whole sort of scooper thing, you can play all this stuff and muck around with it. And this is like a little record and playback button here, right? So any audio can go into that. And I've just got that D50 sound. It's soundtrack. It's not the very famous patch on the D50 is a soundtrack. It doesn't sound like soundtrack at the moment. It's so cool, just mucking around. That's starting to drone now. We'll come back to that sound a bit later. When I was showing you guys the brains before, so the brains, I was showing you guys the brains before, and it actually came through a different input. Probably be able to get the brains going again if we hit this. There we go. There's absolutely no... So the brains, you could actually have plates as a VST type instrument coming out of your DAW, making those sort of sounds. And then with that, you are then able to then patch that in through your Eurorack. Now, you've got analog filters, you've got LFOs, and you've got the math module you can do with envelope craziness and triggering. You've got stuff that you can sequence. You've got modulation-based sequences. You've got gate-based sequences. There's all that sort of cool stuff. And also, if you've got the sort of gear, you've got things like the Planner 2, which has got a joystick control that you can actually manually, patch things through. It just becomes another little world where all of a sudden now you've got your hardware synths and you've got all your gear, but now you've got another sound source, a DAW. And we were having a bit of a rant about software before, but it is important. Software is important. I mean, some of my favorite go-to effects I actually do in the DAW after I sort of record my stuff. I like using things like Black Hole from Eventide, and some of my favorite stuff is actually software based. So I'm not going to absolutely not use software because I do like it. So yeah, that's kind of the theory today. And I thought I'd open it up to questions from the chatty, and I've noticed that there's a few already. So Daniela, Max mentioned. Is mentioned that the MPC and the Force is very primitive. In terms of a DAW, it is. So, but one of the cool things about it, though, like the Force, is that you can get out of your DAW and then you can put it into your Force as a clip. So it's kind of, you could do the same thing. You could bring there's a new upgrade coming to the Force soon where you'll be able to use your Force like a audio interface as well. Daniela said, I tried to get a stream of the keyboard for OBS for live stream. Oh, she's asking me questions about OBS and stuff. Probably not the right form for that right now, Daniela. You probably need to catch me in a different, catch me on Discord or something. We can talk about OBS later. Wasn't the patch designer an Australian for the D50? I think, wasn't it Eric Persing? Wasn't it the guy that did Omnisphere? He was the D50 patch designer, wasn't he? I can't think of an Australian, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Eddie's saying, what I'd like to see is modulation from a DAW into Euro. Yeah, so I did mention before, that's a really good point. So one of the things you can do with this particular module and not all audio interfaces can do this, is this has got DC coupled inputs and outputs. So I can actually send LFOs or, you know, some sort of gate or trigger or step or something coming out of one of those outputs. It doesn't have to be audio. And a really, really good DAW for that sort of stuff, just built in inherently into it, is Bitwig. So watch this space. I am going to do a show on Bitwig in the not too distant future, and I'll show you things like what you can do with these sort of modules and a DAW. It's actually really, really cool because you can do a lot more funky things in a computer than necessarily you can do in a module. Big thank you to trying to spell it right, Teosophy Music for the cha-ching $4.99. Thank you very much. We'll definitely make good use of that. Mac says, look higher up. I'm referring to the CV function. Yeah, okay. I know what you're saying now. Yep. Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, okay. One of the cool things about this audio interface is that you can actually plug that USB cable into your MPC, and you can also plug it into your Akai Force, and it will recognize it because it's class compliant. So there you go. I haven't tried the DC coupled side of it yet. I don't know if it does that, but yeah, yeah. Give that a whirl. Someone could try it and let me know. There's so many things going on here at the moment. I'm trying to rebuild my studio, and I'm trying to run shows, and yeah, the week was a bit stressful trying to get things working for the show. It didn't quite work out the way. Yeah, I can send the Juno chorus, the D50 into the Juno chorus. Do you guys want to try that? We should give that a go.
Yeah, give that a shot.
Give that a shot. Give that a whack. All right, so let me just go to here. All right, so what I'll do is I'll pull out one of these because it's only a mono input. So I'll pull out this one, and I'll take, sorry about my arm, I'll take that. There we go, you can hear it already. Right, so nothing's happening on the Juno chorus. Eee. Probably should turn that up a little bit.
Those first two notes sound familiar.
Too much input.
Oh, bit of clipping there. Is that on the chorus unit?
Yeah, that's on the chorus unit. It's analog. So one of the things is the Behringer mixer doesn't have a really high output on it. It's maxed out. So
no, I've found that as well.
I can't get that any louder. I mean, I could bring it back into another thing and turn it up, but there you go. We can go to type.
I've took it out of my rack. Yeah, I found the output was really quite low on it. I remember mentioning that to you once, Franz, that the output was, and you mentioned it, the level of things going in, and I was like, it's
the
headphone output's fine, but yeah. So that's. But then again, that Tesseract mixer sort of sorted that out. That comes out much hotter. So
yeah, I've got
I'm off on a tangent.
I've got the.
Did you get the feedback one?
Yeah, that should be here this month, is what I've been told.
Yeah, cool.
So
cool.
Yeah, watch the space. The same people that make that Juno chorus. Eddie's asking, you were doing it awesome. Keep up the good work and have a big pat on the back from me. Thanks, mate. That was nice of you to say. Yeah, gets a bit stressful running these shows sometimes. Yeah, using a CV from a DAW is not the same as using a CV from within Eurorack. It is a tricky world. I haven't got a lot of experience with it though, and it's definitely not like using MIDI either. It's a really interesting sort of world, that's for sure. But we're going to give it a go, that's for sure. What you're saying, Andy?
No, I think I was going to pick up on that point from Matt, when he said that CV is not the same as MIDI. No, it really isn't. It's a different sort of way of thinking. I mean, even when I was using a MIDI to CV interface, it was quite clear that CV behaved very differently than your typical MIDI note on and off. But yeah, it's true. And when you sort of got a rack of stuff and you're sending things to different areas, you realise you don't have to think in the same sort of thing. I mean, gate is your on and off, and CV is just telling something what to do. It may be pitch, it may be modulation, it may be anything. You sort of start to think a bit differently about the way you sometimes put a sound together, and that's why it's been fun. So Max was asking me about, does the Tesseract mixer bleed? I hadn't noticed anything. I'm just typing that in now, Max. I hadn't noticed anything, but it might do because it's not the most expensive thing on the planet.
I'll tell you what does bleed: the Behringer 8200s. They bleed. The
Behringer what, sorry?
The 8-8 modules, the Behringer ones, they bleed. Yeah. You can get around it by
8-8 modules. Oh, right, I see.
Yeah. You can get around it, and a lot of it is probably the Presonus' fault. So I've done a lot of research on these, and there's actually quite a lot of interesting articles in the RME forums about the Behringer 8-8 modules, and they actually say that they're pretty good. But a lot of it comes down to the interface and the quality of the interface, not necessarily the actual Behringer module itself, and how you use the inputs basically. So yeah. There's actually a mod you can get for them. I actually came across it during the week where you can actually, I think it's like $250 US. You can actually send off your 88, 8200 to this company in the US, and they'll convert them into, they'll rip out the Behringer preamps. They'll put better quality preamps in, and they'll DC couple them. So that's actually really cool. If you want to DC couple your 8-8 modules, I mean, it's like, yeah. The problem is, a lot of people say to me, "Oh, you should get blah blah blah, or you should, Octapres one, or the there's a couple of others." The problem is they're not available. I think the only one that you can get at the moment that's other than the Behringer one is the Octapres, but the Octapres aren't available. So you can still order them, but you're looking at, when are they going to be in stock? You have to order them from overseas or something like that. And plus they're about 4 or 5 times the price, depending on which one you get. You don't. So the ones, the Octapres, they've been around for years. They're called now Scarlett, so they've changed the way they look. So it's part of the Scarlett interface from Focusrite. And there's 2 different versions. There's the standard Octapres and there's the dynamic. You wouldn't even think about getting the standard one because the dynamic one has the in and out ability. So why would you even get the standard one? It's just not worth it. I mean, I'm sure there's like a small group of people that would buy it. It just doesn't make sense. They should have just made the dynamic one and not made the standard. So Eddie's interested in the RME. So don't worry, you'll get to see it. It might be next week on the show. So it's a tiny little thing. It's only like that big. Tiny little USB box. And it's literally got 8 out, 4 in and 4 out on it, and on the other side it's got a headphone port and a USB port. It's really, really basic. I think we showed a photo of it, didn't we, guys, last week? It's really, really basic stuff. Do I still have the photo? Yeah, here we go. Look at that. It's even overlaid on us. Isn't that beautiful? It's not the 2. It's just 1. It's just showing the front and the back. That's all. It's really, really tiny, that thing. So the good thing about it is it takes up hardly any space on my desk here. I can get rid of this 19-inch rack, which doesn't take up much space anyway. It's not like a mixing desk or anything. And it's class compliant. And yeah, all that cool stuff that I was showing you last week. Look, the thing to remember too is ADAT is not a new technology. It's old. It's been around. It's been around for ages. And the thing is that you're not going to be doing ADAT if you're sort of wanting high-end, real sort of fast, low latency, all the sort of, you're going to be wanting sort of the bigger desks, that's the path that you're going to want to go down. But for someone who's like me, who's really just a hobbyist, recording, mucking around with Eurorack, a few synths and things like that, this is perfect. It's perfect. Like, it's really very, very. Everything is done in your computer, and all your mixing and routing and everything of that is just done in your computer. It just makes a lot of sense for me. I don't have to have massive pieces of gear taking up space where I could put synths instead in that space. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. And the other thing too, moving into this space here, I've wanted to plug more gear in, and obviously straight away moving into here, I've got, you know, a lot more synths out that I don't normally have. And I love that. And, you know, when I finish making my Eurorack cases, I'll have even more space here. So yeah, all of that is all part, that RME module. It doesn't just do the sound thing. It actually gives me the ability to sort of move my gear around in a more sort of spacious setup. That's what it gives me. It's not just about, you know, the small form factor and you know, what the ADAT modules do. It's more than that. It's the ability. It's kind of like it's the functionality of it. So yeah, I mean, I showed you guys with the PDZ camera. I'll show you. I've done you see where the little 2600 19-inch rack is. If I move this to the left a bit. Sorry, I haven't done any. Excuse the cabling right now. There's cables everywhere at the moment. I haven't done any cabling or anything yet. This is all just testing stuff. You'll notice that last time you looked at that, there was just the MRCC module under the 2600. Now I've put the Behringer ADAT module there. So that's sitting there. And that was what you were listening. That was the actual ADAT module that you were listening to the Juno chorus and stuff from. So where's that gone? So this is coming out of that module. Here we go. Probably even see it light up when I did that. Yeah, there you go. You can actually see it light up. Let's zoom in a bit. Oops. You can see the little LEDs on those. See that? Cool, hey? So that's the world's cheapest ADAT module, doing a good job. I like it. All right, chatties, questions. Eddie's saying the satellite I/O concept is awesome for the yeah. It's like modules around your studio. The other thing too is how you can't. The thing is you can't really run Toslink cables too far. I mean, I think they say 5 meters is probably, you know, don't go any more than 5 meters if you can hope. But I've actually got a 10-meter cable here, and I actually find it's working fine. So, yeah, fiber's fiber. It's not like it's, you know, gold-plated fiber. Fiber's fiber. It's got to sound light. What else was I going to bring up here? The Dante, and is it the other thing is AVB? What's the other thing called? Is it AV? Yeah, it's AVB. So the Motu do the ultralight AVB. I was having a look at this. I actually am really interested in AVB, and I think the issue with AVB is there is a slight latency with it. I'm just having trouble loading that website. Don't know why. Weird. Maybe Google's quicker. There we go. So AVB is it's an Ethernet based thing, right? So let me just get this picture for you guys. I love the look of these Motu bits of gear. They're actually pretty cool. Just let me grab the picture. Sorry, it's not always never good. I always do this every single show. I always download pictures. My computer thinks that PNGs are harming. Going to harm my computer. There we go. So that's just an example of a audio interface by Motu. That's a ultralight AVB, and you can see on that bottom part, it's obviously the top is the front and the bottom is the back. It's not 2 units. I like how it's got the MIDI on it too. That's actually really cool. So yeah, down the bottom, underneath the little DC power connector, you'll see the AVB Ethernet. And the whole cool thing about this is that you can just grab a good old-fashioned Ethernet cable that you can just get from the local computer store, and you run, you know, in and out audio across that. It's obviously digital signal, but you're running your in and out audio across that. And then the other end will be another device that has AVB connectivity to it, including your computer. You can get cards and stuff for, you know, PCI cards and things like that for your computer. So I actually do rate this stuff, but I think for me, I would like to see the technology just improve a little bit on latency. And I know there's people that rate it quite well. So that's a nice little neat audio interface. I don't know how much they are, by the way. Anyone got an idea how much they are? Nope. Nope. See if I can get a price for you guys on that one. Ultralight. I just have to change ultralight. You're looking at, according to 12. That's not even, that's Australian dollars. Let me just convert that for you, one sec. So it's about £700, £600-700 for one of those. So it's pretty cheap. And there's other ones as well. You can get little sort of rack unit things that will expand your AVB. It's kind of similar to what I was talking about. And the other thing you can do too, as Marshall correctly said, you can actually get an AVB network switch and run audio all over the place. The benefit with AVB is the length that you can run audio around your studio. So if you've got big, like I don't know if you guys have seen Marshall. He's actually got two separate sort of recording areas in his place. He's got one where he does his videos and stuff, and another one where he sits at his computer, and you know, it's a physical distance to go from one to the other. So you wouldn't be able to run ADAC cables in that sort of length. So things like AVB are actually really, really handy for that sort. So they solve a problem. That's the thing. Dante's the other one, I think, isn't it? So yeah. Okay, we have done that topic to death. Let's just do our Saturday Sonority now, guys. You guys, it's time to check out Daren. Daren's been sitting here patiently. It's time to check out his. Daren, it says the video is unavailable. Have you marked it as private?
Oh, but yeah, it's not out till tomorrow.
So I can't play it. Can I play the thing on your Bandcamp page?
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah. I didn't realise I'd left it on schedule.
Okay. All right. So I'll just play this one here on top. Let's go.
Civilizations that have emerged, many different life forms.
Brilliant. I'm not going to spoil it because you guys need to listen to all of that yourselves in your own time. Daren, absolutely brilliant. Just let me have my quick say, and then I'll go to Andy. Sorry, wrong button. There, that's me. Hey, yeah, really, really good. I think you've done an extremely good job. The mix is awesome. The choice of instruments, the feel that you get from it, it's got a real ambient, just a real nice sort of chilled out, relaxed feel to it. I really like it. I like how you've themed your album as well. I like the name of the tracks. I think you've done a really good job on the CD and the album cover as well. Just hats off to you, mate. It's actually really, really good. It's a really professional job, and a lot of people that are watching it, I'm sure, would agree with me. And I'm going to go to Andy now. Andy, do you want to make a couple of quick comments about that?
Yeah, Daren, you're £10 better off now.
No, you shouldn't need to. It's free. I haven't even been on Bandcamp yet to have a look at your stuff yet.
Well,
Daren,
Daren, I mean,
back
that's
anyway.
right. You just say bollocks. Yeah, we say name your price. So there you go. It's a decent. I mean, it sounds great. I can't wait to actually download the thing. All I've done is bought my ticket, so I'll download it and I'll be listening to that in the car. It's great. I just love it. Yeah, I can't wait for you to get more. It's just ace. Thanks, Daren. You know what? Thanks.
Yeah.
Do I need to say any more? I mean, it's like every time Daren wants me to comment on his videos, right? And I sit there and I go, how often can I just say, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. This is again and again. I need to find more words for
thesaurus.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you've got to get the thesaurus out. You're supposed to be a linguist, Andy.
I've got quite a good vocab, but I've run out. Yeah. I've run out of superlatives and hyperbole.
Say it in a different language then.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I know what you mean.
Bring Rave Dave back.
That was really good.
There's news on that anyway.
Probably.
We'll go to Daren in a sec for his comments, but just a couple of people in chat, just so you can see, Daren, what I know you can read it on your screen, but this is just, it's going to be recorded on my stream. These are beautiful comments that are coming through. Daren's a tone master. That's a great saying. Beautiful. Sometimes we need kind of chill out, lounge type music too. It's not always the bangers, is it? It's not always about the bangers. Daren, tell us a little bit about what inspired you to make this album. What's the sort of motivation behind it?
Well, it's an EP, really, I suppose, 5 tracks. The first track, Lifeforms Within Lifeforms, was what sparked it off, because I did the sort of track. So the whole track is ambience, is the whole of Lifeforms, if that makes sense. So the Lifeforms track are written and then recorded the ambience and sort of stretched it and put that back into the new track to create the Lifeforms track, really complex. So that runs through the whole of Lifeforms, track number 1. And then I thought, I've got an idea for a small EP. So each track incorporates ambience and sounds and melodies from the track before and the track after it, which is combined into the next track, which is quite complex. The whole thing is so complex, but you won't hear that when you listen to it because it's just all chilled out. So it starts off chilled with Lifeforms Within Lifeforms, with within music we live is it starts off the ambient chill from the first track and then sort of goes a little bit dance floor. I wouldn't say slamming, but you have that 4/4 kick and it sort of just ramps up a little bit, which then blends into a track, Farewell to All, which I written ages ago, but I've redabbled with it because it needed a lot of work doing to it. But I want you, if anyone listens to it, I want you to tell me which track in this 5 EP is there a didgeridoo or is there not a didgeridoo? I'm not going to tell you which track it might or might not be on.
Is it a didgeridoo?
It may not be a didgeridoo.
A didgeridoo or a didgeridoo?
It could be a didgeridoo. But Farewell to All was it's sort of like very uplifting. It can be a sort of sad, happy track. So it's sort of like goes up to a big build up and then very emotional sort of style track. Then the last track, Endlessly, incorporates every track or hints of every track in it within its track itself being a separate track. And then the bonus track at the end was a track I was writing for the actual trailer, and then I turned it into a full track. So the video's got a bit of the trailer, but the actual track is on the album, or EP as you call it. But yeah, you don't have to pay for it. It's just for free. It's something that I spent a while on and trying to get how I wanted it. So there'll be other stuff. There's lots of other stuff. And yeah, Rave Dave's writing an album. I will be showing you the concept album for it shortly. So yeah, Rave Dave's got a full album, 9-track full album, and
yeah.
You could say that, but wait till you see it. I'll show you.
2-track concept album.
Mac in chat mentions something that I've been thinking about, and it's not just because you brought it up. I actually thought about it when Sonic State did their little group album. I thought it was a great idea. I really did. We should do something similar. I think whether we do it the same way or whether we do it where we make tracks that we're all involved in. That's the way they did it, is they individually made their own track and they made a compilation, which is, I think, is nice as well. But we may want to do it differently. We might want to do tracks where we're all sort of doing it together collaboratively. I don't know. It's definitely something that I've been thinking about, and Daren and I have dabbled with it. Inky and I have dabbled with it. Nothing ever sort of serious about it though, that's for sure. So we should definitely do it. There's a few other good people on that are regulars on the show as well that we could invite. Won't mention who they are.
You could do one of each. You could do one where everyone just took a track in. That would be easier to curate.
Yeah.
And then you do one where people perhaps remix each other's tracks or do different versions, or right, I've got this, I'm going to send it to you, Ranz, you finish it, that sort of thing. That will, of course, assume that I know what to do with the DAW, but that's all right.
Eddie's put his hand up.
Eventually.
Yeah, there's some good people.
That's a good idea. I mean, why not? Yeah.
I think Stephen. I think Stephen should be participating in it as well, because it was, partly his suggestion.
Chatties, anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one, Stephen. We like that.
Yeah.
It's a thumbs up from me.
Okay, so announcements-wise, we've got a few announcements. So cruising towards, we're halfway through October now. I don't know when daylight savings finishes or starts or whatever it is in the US.
Last week, in the US. Oh,
Yeah.
it's the last weekend in October here, isn't it?
I think.
The last, is it the last Saturday to Sunday?
Yeah.
I think the US is later. So I think they actually, I think theirs is the 7th of November, according to Google anyway. So yours is the 30th of October.
Weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because Monday, the 1st of November, so it will be it'll be Saturday the 30th into
Saturday,
Sunday the 31st.
Yeah. What I think what we'll do is I'll keep the show running at 2 p.m. UK time, so that way you guys won't have to change any. You'll go about your day normally. The majority of people that watch it are from the UK anyway, so I'll keep it at UK time. For me, that just means I'll either go an hour later or I forget which one it is. I think it's an hour later, but it's no big deal for me. And then it just means that there's going to be a week where the US people will probably be earlier. I think they'll have to watch the show. Yeah, they'll have to watch the show just for a week. We can't do anything about it. Like, we can't just keep everyone happy. If the whole world actually played ball,
we can't do anything about the world spinning around on its axis.
They have to.
There we are.
Daylight savings is a man invention. So is time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kronos don't give us stuff. It's all people who use watches that are bothered.
Exactly. So that's that. So when we're getting to the UK change of daylight savings, which is at the end of the month, I think we'll probably squeeze another 2 more shows in before that happens. We will be doing no change to the time. It'll be 2 p.m. UK. But for the people that are watching in the US, it'll probably just be a week where you guys are going to be punished. And you guys know that. You guys know that the UK changes before they're used to it. So it's not anything new. Okay, so they'll be watching Sonic State an hour early or an hour late. That's the whole thing will change for them a week later.
Why would the UK ever want to be in line with anybody else? Eh? Why would we want to be in line? No, do we? Got to be different. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes. The other thing too is future shows we've got lined up. So one of the things that we've been wanting to do for a long time is do a mastering show. And I've tried to get someone to come on. I think there's been a few people that have tried to help, which have been obviously really appreciative, but nothing's really sort of come to fruition. There's something bubbling away with one of my Patreons that will be very, very good once that's finished, but I can't tell you what that's about. But it's to do with mastering. So what we're after, and I'm just putting it out to you guys who are watching, we're after someone who does mastering for a living. They go on the show, they're going to talk about mastering, we're going to ask them questions, they're going to part with some of their advice. The big benefit they'll get is they'll expose their business and everything, and the world will find out who they are, because you don't need to be in the same, town or country to get mastering done. You can just send them stems anywhere in the world. I mean, there's some people that I've heard of, but I don't know them. So, if you know someone, or you are someone that does mastering for a living, you need to be someone, or the people need to be someone who does it, reasonably professionally. We can't sort of have, the tin shed out the back. It has to be someone who's reasonably professional at it. So we do want to get that person on the show as a guest.
I can always get Ray
Can I
Dave
make a
to give you a
suggestion?
mastering class. He
You
just
can
whacks
ask
everything up
suggestions.
to 11 and just holds that.
Well, I've got a suggestion, and it might be possible because he's a nice bloke. Gaz Williams, actually, a lot of his work is mastering. A lot of what he does is mastering for people. So if we can get in touch with Gaz Williams, hey Gaz, come on here and talk about your mastering process. I don't know. It's just a suggestion. There are other people who are pretty well known as well, but
The problem is I don't know Gaz. I know who Gaz is, and he may know who I am, but I don't actually know him. And there's no problem. I don't have an issue with it. But no one has ever. We've never ever made that connection. So
No.
a lot of people know
But
him.
you know Nick. You know Nick Batt.
I know Nick. Yep. I know Rich. I know Dave Spears. I know quite a lot of the guys from Sonic State. But Gaz is someone that I don't. So it's just one of those things. I don't know Ty Unwin either. So you can't know everybody.
No, we can't. Well, I mean, I think it's just one of those things. But there will be people out there who know mastering engineers. They must do.
Yeah.
There's
a few people. There's I think there's Charles Chicky Reeves. I don't know who he is. Obviously, I've seen him on Sonic State, but I don't know him personally. Dr. Mix is someone else that does it. So there's a few people out there.
Inky knows Gaz.
You guys have to do if you want Gaz to be on the show, you guys have to get the connection to me. That's the problem, because I actually don't know him. You can make a comment to him and blah blah blah, and then tell me you've done it, and then I can contact him. That's fine, but I don't like just cold calling people because it freaks them out.
Well, no, that's true, but Lisa's just said, "I know Gaz?" ? I mean, I don't know. Do you? What?
No, someone in the chat.
Assume Lisa knows everybody.
Someone in the chat said Lisa knew.
Lisa.
Yeah, I think she's asking.
Inky knows everyone.
Yeah. Look,
Ken?
there's plenty of people that I know that know Gaz. So if you guys want him on the show.
My goose just said Gaz doesn't wake up till 5 p.m. on Saturdays. But he's got a busy gigging schedule as well coming up from what he was saying on Sonic State this week. So well, there must know somebody. Who else knows a mastering engineer? Oh dear. I'm trying to wrap my brain around if I think.
So what we want is Kent said he could ask Ty. So we just want someone who I feel like I don't want to get someone on
knows
here
what they're talking about
just to pick their brains. We want obviously someone who knows what they're talking about, but it's got to be beneficial for them too. One of the things that you guys probably understand, being in the music industry, if you're someone quite well known, a lot of people borrow you for your knowledge, and after a while you get a little bit disgruntled because people don't pay you for it.
Oh yeah.
So you don't want to have. I don't really want to have that situation. I'd rather have someone actually get some sort of, benefit, some sort of promotion benefit.
Be willing to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
So no, I don't really want to do it about isotope software and things like that. But obviously we can talk about that, partially. We're obviously going to be talking about sausages, that's for sure. And if you don't know what that means, you need to look up sausages for mastering.
Squashing the life out of everything.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Look, the thing is, if you guys think Gaz is the one we should get, or Ty is the one we should get, then let's do it. But like I said, my hands are in the air. I've leave it up to you guys.
No idea if he'd be willing. Right. Well, again, I'm like you. I don't actually have any personal contacts to Gaz, other than being on his show and chatting in the chat room, and watching his things. But I don't know if that would be enough. Hi Gaz, can we do this? Are you interested? I don't know.
I mean, the people that I've got on the show before, I've had lots of people who have offered to come on my show, and they will be coming on. So there are some really well-known people that you guys know, you see them every week, that will be coming on my show, just because it's nice to sort of give them a pat on the back and, have a chat to them out of their world. You take them out of their world, put them in yours type thing. So there'll be some people coming on soon. I can't just give you dates yet because we're just getting over Super Booth recently, and there's, that's probably a little hint to who that could be. I do have other people lined up as well to come on. So that's part one. So mastering person is part one. And the second thing I would like to start getting on the show is I want to start getting some musicians that are well known in terms of not necessarily them personally, but the people that they've worked for. Like they've been a session musician for a well-known, record selling type, well-known type thing. That's kind of what we want to do. What I want to do with that is I want to talk about stuff from the point of view of being a synthesizer musician and their choices of where they are going about their job in terms of how they've contributed to albums and recordings and their knowledge of synthesizers and how that's all integrated. I want to go down that point, not necessarily a celebration. Oh, aren't you wonderful? You've made a fantastic #1 track. Obviously, we'll mention that briefly, but it's more going to be about the technical aspect, the geeky, the nerdy side of it. And I just kind of wish, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of, when I watch a lot of the stuff on YouTube and I see famous musicians and things, they don't really go into that a lot. And I'd really love to sort of see more about them picking their brain. Like a bit like the Jamie Liddell sort of style. He's really cool how he goes into the technical stuff when he talks about when he makes his music. So that just gives you an idea. I like that Taiwan does it as well. So that sort of level of stuff, we'll talk about, going into that sort of detail. That person can be anywhere in the world. Because remembering the show's, worldwide. So it doesn't have to be someone in my country or UK. It could be in the US. It could be, Canada, whatever. It doesn't have to be. So definitely keep your ears out for that. It doesn't have to be like overly famous either. It just has to be someone that we can all sort of put a link to. All right. So they're the two things that I'm kind of asking for you guys. There's an old saying, you put it out to the universe, right? So I'm putting it out to the universe. That's what I want to happen, and everyone will benefit. So when I make these shows, I'm doing them for the love. I'm doing them for, this is not my business. I don't do this. It's not like I do this show and all of a sudden the phone rings on Monday and I get all this kind of synthesizer-based work. It's Monday is a completely different industry that I work in, and that's what I do. So this is all purely just hobby. Just like Andy and Daren, they all have different, careers. They all volunteer their time when they come on the show as well. So if you're wondering, it's kind of interesting. Like, why do we do this every week? Well, what are we up to? 135 episodes. We do it because we enjoy it. We do it because we like the people that we talk to every week. We like talking about the subjects, and we can nerd out.
Big family.
Yeah, you guys can also suggest topics for me. Obviously, I'm not going to do a topic that I can't do because I don't know enough about it. I think I did mention that I was going to do the S2400 this week, and I haven't. And the reason for it is because I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to get in front of you guys. I just don't. I feel like I'll be embarrassed because I don't know it enough. I tried. I mucked around it during the week, and I just I put it away, and I just thought to myself, no, I need more time with it. So, yeah. Dom has been mentioned. Dom's actually asked to come on the show. Now that you've mentioned it, I can mention his name. And Mark is also. Definitely, he's someone else. So there's quite a few people that we can get on. Just bear in mind though that there's a lot of these people we see quite regularly. So I'd actually wouldn't mind getting someone that we don't see quite regularly. So, it's better. It doesn't have to be, but that's more of a preference. Someone new. It's always good. Always bring new. Look, the thing is, when you guys were first behind the camera...
When are you coming on, Wagyu? Come on,
Daniel.
Wagyu. When are you coming on?
We'd love to get Daniel on.
Your leg must be better now. You can come on.
Yeah, I haven't seen Mark Tinley for a while. He's just busy with his store in Glastonbury, probably. That's probably all that is.
Is he selling kazoos to hippies?
we have to get him on a rant about the Roland Integra or something. Yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah, he's funny marketing. God.
Yeah, look, it's all the YouTubers. It's all the YouTubers. But yeah. Anyway, they're the two things that I'm putting out to you guys. See what happens. If you need to contact me, you know how to do that. Otherwise, we're probably done with the show. Unless you guys have got to add anything.
Well, to be honest, right, it suits me wrapping up a bit early because I'm, as you know, my dad wasn't very well last week. He's all better and coping. But I'm off over to Doncaster in a bit just to see he's all right. So, yeah.
Well, coming over that way tomorrow, actually.
Oh, are you? To
Yeah,
Doncaster?
well, I'm going with one of my... That area, I can't remember the exact place, because one of my friends is into... Wait a minute! Is into...
What on
CB.
earth is that?
Oh, like amateur radio.
CB
CB.
radio. Blimey.
Yeah.
Well, you must be going to Scunthorpe.
There's a shop somewhere over there, so he's going over there, and I'm going with him. So
The old ham radio people.
Nice, I think it's called.
I just have a mate that did that.
Yeah.
Had this massive sort of setup on his desk and talked to people all over the world and had this huge antenna in his backyard. It was crazy.
Yeah, I've done that.
Just a couple of quick things in chat that have just come up. Sonic Link said, not here every weekend, but watch each one, obviously on the replay. I would love to see your love for the System 8. Yeah, we should get the System 8 out. It's a great synth. It really is. Roland did a good job with that one. Thanks QRD&K for saying it was a great show. I enjoyed it. I enjoy every week, especially having all you good people there. We're going to wrap it up though. So thank you, everyone. Big thanks for the super chats this week. That'll definitely go into the fund of the Vimeo. The thing is, I'm not going to get to keep it. It's all going to go to some software company like Vimeo or yeah. It's I'm looking at the bills coming in each month. It's crazy how much money comes out of here for this show. But anyway, thank you very much for the super chats, those who did it. And don't forget, I do have a Patreon. It's just patreon.com/Ranzee. If you do want to support me that way, that's just a small cup of coffee type sort of fee. That's another thing you can do. Other than that, we're finishing the show. Big thanks to Daren for showing his album. Much appreciated. Andy, all the best with you.
Alive.
Pleasure.
Yeah, everyone needs to get a life. I like that. It's a good marketing thing. You need to get a life. Yeah, fantastic.
I've got a life already, Daren.
When are you going to post that CD to me, Daren?
Yeah.
All right, we're all going to go. See you later. Toodaloo.
Take care, everyone.
Take care, everyone. All of that.